Something I really wish somebody would have told me when I first started my freediving journey was belts. Yes, I knew weight belts was important for buoyancy and controlling our bodies in water. Other than that, I didn't know what my body needed. So, when I first started out, I went with this kind of like it is a rubber type of belt, and it works. It's, better than what I would say a nylon belt, especially when we are having larger bodies and wanting and needing to accommodate for something that not only fits but is a bit more comfortable. I will tell you right now that when you feel confined and you don't feel like you're able to move or to be comfortable in the water, like, we're already experiencing something new and different to us, especially, or maybe you've been in freediving for a while. I had started off with this type of belt for quite some time before a friend, a dive buddy, recommended and actually had a silicone belt. And that is when I was like, oh my God, there's such a difference in my comfortability and thus my performance underwater. So you see, this is a silicone belt. It has a lot more stretch to it, which is way more comfortable than this rubber. But this rubber belt has some give, not that much. It will work for some people. Worked for me until I knew better. Once I knew better and felt better, I was a lot more comfortable underwater and was able to enjoy my dives much better. So I know getting into a new sport or a new hobby, there's expense to it. This is one of the gear items that I immediately would suggest running towards and investing in right off the bat. When I switched from the rubber to the silicone, not only was I more comfortable, I was actually able to take deeper breaths. As free diving, that is so important, is our breath ups. And I had no idea that a belt down here on my belly would be constricting my diaphragm, but it absolutely did. And it took that learning experience, for me to come to realize that. But if I can help a fellow Curvy girl out, I want to. So hear me out. Jump on the silicone belt trend. There's a few different brands. I've tried a couple. My favorite one that I've tried so far is C4. The length accommodates me, and for reference, I am 5'3" and currently weigh about 250. And if we compare these two belts in length, so the buckle I have right here, and coming to the end, there's a good bit extra tail here. So you can go ahead and use the tape measure around your belly on where your weight belt will sit, and where your weight belt sits also plays a factor. Some people do like to have it up higher where it's like on your belly button. Others lower. Kind of depends on, your preference and your frame. It doesn't look appealing, but I like my belt to sit lower, like almost like basically on my butt and under all my belly. Helps with buoyancy, one, like keeping this fat ass down, and two, it doesn't wiggle around. Sometimes once we duck dive and dive under, the belt can actually slip up. We don't want that. We don't want our belts shimmying and moving around. So I prefer low. Sometimes if you want pictures and you want to look a little cuter, go ahead and move it up, put it where you want. But don't be afraid to play with where you place your belt and what's comfortable for you and take some time to notice, how does my body feel? How am I performing? You know, sometimes if I'm a little bit more anxious underwater, it can actually be because there's something that's pressing on a little too tight. So it's adding this another layer of sensory awareness that maybe I'm not actually consciously processing at the moment, but it makes my body and my nervous system become a little bit more heightened. And then when I adjust something, if I have my belt lower or I have a different swimsuit on that day or a new mask, I'm a little bit more relaxed. And it's like, oh, okay, what are these different factors that are, you know, allowing me to relax and surrender and be more comfortable in the water and in my body? And for